Hello, neighbors. My name is Bethany Berry. I am serving on your HOA 2025 board and also on your neighborhood development committee. First, I wanted to thank everyone who joined our recent town hall. If you watched the recording, if you were in person, if you just shared feedback after, thank you. We appreciate your participation, and we were overwhelmed by how much participation there was in the best way. So thank you so much. The purpose of seeing me again today is to give you the next step in development plan. I'm going to try to give you clear information so that you can make an informed decision about the pond and the shoreline project. And with this, you'll have a vote to cast. So I want to get right into it. Just keeping in mind, this is a follow-up to the town hall. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, please by all means go back, but I'll give you just a brief recap. The whole point of the town hall was for feedback. We wanted to bring as much information to the table as possible so that we had feedback on what you would like to see happen and what you would like your board to do. The overwhelming response was a strong support in the project, mainly in two phases. Phase 1 and Phase 2. So just to recap those, Phase 1 was a full pond cleanup that was removing all of the cattails and overgrown vegetation and hauling it all away. That was for $10,500. Phase 2 was the shoreline cleanup. Clean up the shoreline between the green space over on Fraser and the pond and connect them. The original estimate was for $6,100 without haul away. Both of those were from the meeting and from feedback after were resounding yeses from you guys that you wanted to see this happen. So we went back to the drawing board a little bit. We had to figure out how much haul-away was going to cost to clean up the shoreline and also what element of this would make it affordable. But good news, we were speaking with the vendor and have been able to reach an understanding that the $6,100 is actually going to include the cleanup of the shoreline. So no additional costs are going to be incurred other than what was presented at the meeting. So those two together, you're looking at a project cost of $16,600. This does not change from the meeting, so we think that the feedback remains the same, that you would like to see this happen. Then where your board had to figure out was what that financial picture looks like. Our current balance is $23,413. If we took the total project cost of $16,600, that would leave a remaining balance of $6,813. Your boards did not think that that was a fiscally responsible balance to hold. We know we have upcoming expenses for our neighborhood social, which we hope to see you all at, and also the entrance maintenance. These things are recurring every year, and we didn't think that after those recurring charges and expected charges that the allowing a budget of just a couple $1,000s was reasonable or smart. So to figure out how to make this project happen, we dug through the bylaws and tried to figure out what we can do here. We do require a vote for the project to move forward. That's what you're voting on. The vote is for Phase 1 and Phase 2. So total project cost of $16,600, but that is cleaning up the entirety of the pond and the entirety of shoreline and hauling it away from a professional service. That's what your vote is. However, your board wants to be very transparent that when this project, if this project is approved by you, the neighborhood, the way we would fund it is to institute a special assessment. This is not necessarily what you're voted on, but we feel in the vein of transparency, it's important for you to know. So we wanted to try to figure out a way to make this as affordable as possible, and in crunching the numbers, to achieve a balance that we feel is healthy going into the new year, a special assessment of $50 would be instituted per household, not per person, just per household. This is a one-time assessment for those who aren't quite sure what a special assessment is, because we think this may be the first time this has happened. A special assessment is a one-time assessment, not included in your annual assessment, that you would pay to fund a project, usually something special, obviously, and then it's done. We would like to make sure that you understand that there are rules regarding this in your bylaws. The assessments are due if they're instituted by the board or your annual assessment. They are treated the same. So please refer back to your bylaws. They are online now and easily searchable in electronic formats. But we'll also include some snippets to make sure that you are very well informed of the rules behind a special assessment. But if we were able to institute a special assessment of $50 after a vote of yes from the neighborhood to move forward with the project, that would leave us with around $10,000, depending on payments. And if that comes up within 30 days, we'd be able to get this work done this year rather than waiting to see what happens next year. Our main concern with waiting until annual dues comes back in and funds the rest of the project is that we know the costs would go up. As our vendors have told us, and as our inflation goes, we know the costs would go up. So we wanted to try to capture these prices for you, which we think are amazing, and move forward with it as soon as possible. $50 special assessment was the way to move forward while our weather permits. Good old Michigan weather. So we hope you feel that this is very transparent. We hope you feel like this is a thoughtful approach. We want to be fiscally responsible and also take your feedback and move forward with the project. So keep in mind, we are asking for a vote of 40% use of the annual assessment. It's over 40%, so that's why a vote is required. And just for your transparency, we would then issue a $50 special assessment. The great news is this can be done electronically. So hopefully you don't see us knocking on doors. We think that this would go quite quick. You'll use the link below. Please fill in your name, your address, and your response. This will help verify if the need arises that your vote was cast and also that you participated, which we hope everyone does regardless of response. We do feel the need to share that our recommendation is yes, based on the project feedback. We think that this is the best option for the neighborhood, and we want to give our recommendation to you. That way you can see we've analyzed everything, we've decided based on the feedback, this is a yes from us, the board, and then you can inform your vote however you see fit. So that is it. If you have questions, please reach out. Your participation is always welcome. All feedback is welcome. Our job is to work for you and do what's best for you. So the more information and feedback and communication you give us, the better we can do. I hope to see you at the Neighborhood Social, and thank you again for your participation, and thank you so much for being part of our great community.